I usually do this thing. Good morning, everyone. This is Ninja Nguyen from Step on the Mat. Um, I have a special guest today, Master Labatina. Hello, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastically well. How are you?
Excellent. So I know we both kind of new things on the text over here. So I have a couple questions for you. I know you have been martial art for a longest time, and I remember I met you. I don't know what year was that, but I believe that at least 1985 maybe at Wilmington tournament at back then you was doing a demonstration of breaking board and cement at the Shrine Auditorium, the one, yeah, the one that you did the Bruce Lee theme song. So
Yep, the Oriental box with the jumping, spinning hook kicks and ba ba
yes,
ba.
you did it. This move was one, two, three,
Oh, yeah.
four. Yeah, you did
Call
that.
it the Oriental box. It's a fun way to keep the energy flowing, and it's a great thing for people to see because it's like a pa 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 move.
Yeah. So I don't like to talk too much about fighting because I feel like every time we talk about fighting, there's always a good thing and there's always a negative when it comes to that. For me, I always look at as martial art as like the training people who's better health, better lifestyle, empower the kids. So I want you to talk to me about a little bit about your journey, when you start, and why did you start?
Well, number one, the martial arts is to help you for your character building. Your self discipline, your self respect. The most important thing to me when I was a kid is self defense. Why self defense? I used to get bullied. I used to get picked on. I was very skinny, short, and timid. Back when we were kids, our parents just let us out. I can remember going to communion one day, and this bully, um, beat me up his communion class. So I ran away. So the next time when I seen a bully, he went to beat me up. So I started doing my prayers, but he still beat me up. Didn't work. So my uncle had a box, and boxing was good, but I was short, and it's just the bigger kids had the advantage over me. So I remember going to camp. It was sleepover camp, and this guy, his name was Charlie Wilson, and he was a brown belt in Wei Ji Ru. He was from Grandmaster Matson, George Matson, who had a school in Boston, and he was a student. So he was a counselor there. So it was sleepover camp. So you got to pick classes. You know, whether I took karate, nature, swimming, it was always karate. But I remember this kid, Junior Lewis, was much faster than me. He was older than me, better in sports than me. So on a Friday night when we all did, they usually do boxing, but we did a karate demo, sparring demo, and I hit him with a stepping stool kick by accident. I got him right in the eye. I couldn't believe I dropped him. And then after that, I said, "Wow, this karate does really work." And you know, it's all about love for yourself. It's about discipline. It's about survival. When you grew up in East Boston, back then it was like survival. So you had to know self-defense. Self-defense was just a way of life. Although when you grow up in an Italian family, sometimes um, in the old timers, back in the old days, they just didn't have the character that you should have. Uh,
Right.
and that's a whole different story. But the martial arts taught me respect. It taught me self-control. It taught me to be a leader, and it made me better at sports. I played football, baseball, hockey, and track, but I always did karate. Why karate? Because Bruce Lee came out in 1970, 71.
Right.
Remember the Fury? Me and my
Yes.
friends would hook school, and we'd go to Boston at the Boston Combat Zone, and we watch karate movies, and then we would go into Boston Commons and karate fight each other. We all
Yeah.
done Bruce Lee's and stuff. And that's how I used to make noises. Remember in the old days, I make those Bruce Lee noises. Why? That's
Yeah.
the spirit. That's the love. That's the energy. But it's not about fighting. It's about self-love, you
Right.
know, and the
So,
purpose.
I noticed that, this day, especially this day, people have a tendency to have like stress eating, stress lifestyle. What would you recommend when people have situation like that?
Well, number one, you're going to move your body. The more you move, the happier you're going to feel. Number two, you have to surround yourself around positive people. Whoever you hang with is who you become. Number three, thoughts are feelings. Whatever you think you feel, the quality of our life is based on the quality of our thoughts. So it's important to teach people how to have happy and loving thoughts. When you think about being grateful, you're rich. If you think about being negative, you're poor. So you have to focus on being grateful and rich. And if you still have stress in your body and you're moving around, then you need to do incantations. You need to say things over and over again, or sing a song, or stare into a fire, or go down to the ocean and focus on the waves and focus on love and yourself, self love. You have to have a natured spirit, you know?
Right. I noticed that now you focus a lot to do with mindset and energy flow. What would you recommend people who don't know what energy flow is and why it's important into martial arts?
Well, the chi is the air, the chi is the energy, the chi is the life force in our bodies, the chi is the spirit. God breathed that spirit, or your parents breathed that spirit into you. The way you make that spirit stronger, you got to work out. But you also got to do breathing exercises, qigong breathing exercises. The more air, the more energy, and the more it helps the reproduction of all the internal organs, including the mind. So when I stretch, and no matter what I do, I focus on the breath. Why? Because you have to get fresh oxygen into your blood, your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments. And the air makes you feel good. That's why the first thing I do every day, it's about me. I got to work out first. I got to stretch. When I stretch, I do my breathing. I meditate every single day. But it's about self love.
What's the best way would you recommend people who never meditate before? What is the step that you would recommend?
Well, you have to learn the breath. Now you have something to focus on because a lot of people have chatter in the mind. So you teach them about the Danjen. The Danjen is 3 inches below the belly button. Dan stands for fire, Jun stands for resonance. So when you breathe into the nose, your Danjen, which is the Don muscle, should expand a little. When you exhale, it contracts. You have to focus on the breath. Once you learn the breath, then I can teach you to meditate. Then I can teach you the healing meditations, and that's what we do. The first thing our instructors taught us when we got tired was the basic breathing exercise. Remember that? You breathe in,
Yes, I remember.
uh, basic crane breathing. So the air is energy. If you do a board break, or maybe you get an injury, or maybe you get the virus, or whatever it is, you have to have breathing. The more air, the more energy. And the air is ecstasy. Air is love. Air is life.
The I noticed that you run very success school. What is the things that motivate you every single day for you to come in and teach and empower students to train?
Well, it's about changing identities. It's about creating leaders and helping people to find self love. My goal in life is to help as many people as I possibly can, to help them to become better individuals, to help them to find love. And if they have energy and they have love and they have a good attitude, then the family's going to have good attitudes and it's going to carry on to generations of generations. It's about serving God's people. And then if you have a good attitude and you have about love, you have good intent, and you know your people and you love your people, they're going to stay with you forever, you know? So
Right.
it's a love. It's about the caringness. It's about the service.
So I noticed that you have excellent demonstration team. You know, so how would you like in your demonstration team, of course you need certain ways, certain days training and stuff like that. What if the kid would tell the parent, you know what, I don't feel like training today? What would the requirement situation like that for the student or for themselves to come in and train?
Well, number one is the parents. The parents are the ones you're really enrolling. You know, you have to have the benefits for the child. If the parents can see the benefits, well, just like adults, kids rationalize too. So parents should take the kid by the hand, lead them in the right direction, and bring them to the dojo. And then if the child is losing interest, it's up to the instructor to motivate that child, help that child, to get through it. And whether you do a couple sessions with them here and there, you want to do whatever you have to do to help people. And if you want to have a great school, you have to know your people. You have to know the type of benefits they were looking for when they first came in, and you got to deliver the benefits. It's all about the benefits, the focus, the concentration, the self esteem, the self confidence, the self respect. This should be a kid safe program about bullying and strangers. If parents can see the value, they're always going to come in, they're going to renew. So it's about the love, the self love.
I know, me and my wife was talking about this, is that we have kids. I have kids. And I noticed that most of the time my kid don't even go to near the water. but we put our kid in swimming anyway, right? And sooner or later, the kid gonna have to face water, So for me as a martial artist, I feel like, surrounding is very important. So the kid have to be strong minded for them to really know the value of who's a negative in their point, who's a positive that they can need to be hang around, especially this situation now, because I don't know, you heard the news a couple of days ago that, people, I guess, was at the gym and they have a fight and then they went outside, shoot each other. So for me, I feel like, especially now, kid need to be able to see the different or the situation that they can get themselves out. And I feel as a martial artist, that's what I did for myself. I find a positive way to move away from the direction that I should not be. So what would you recommend kid that come in, or the adult, that why is so much value beside confident and all that, why they need to work on their self-defense, so by that way they be able to defend themselves in the future? What
Well,
would
one safety tips is awareness and distance. Being aware of everywhere you go and being aware of the way people look and act. And we all have an internal alarm inside of our bodies that we got from our parents. If something doesn't seem right, you're supposed to always go with your instincts. Whatever you feel, you got to get out of there. But you got to be street smart. You have to be focused, And, this is personal survival skills about today's world. So in the old days, I used to practice fighting with chairs.
right,
Fighting with kids. So if you ever, I grew up in East Boston. You ever go to Revere, you go to some of the clubs, all of a sudden a brawl breaks out. What do? Well, you get your back to the wall. Now you get three spots. And if you have to use a chair for self-defense, use a chair. You use a lamp, use a lamp. Whatever is needed. I'll be honest with you, I don't leave home without my Kubaton. Why? This is a self-defense weapon. And
right,
no matter where I go. And I had to use it.
right.
With your wife and your children, and you can't run away, you might have to use a Kubaton. So you have to have personal survival skills. You should be aware of everything, but you got to be in shape. If you're not in shape, how can you run away? Running is self-defense. Doesn't
Right.
mean kicking is part of self-defense.
So I know, like, I've been going back and forth to a lot of question that is just coming in my mind, so what would you like, so I have like people that I always say, hey, your health come first, right? But to daily life, there's a lot of challenge. Sometimes they either, because they're tired, they make an excuse, or they make a commitment, they don't go. What would you recommend, or something that would motivate them to show up and take care of their health?
Well, number one, health is wealth. You got to take care of your mind, your body, your emotions, your spirit. There's 5 circles of life. There's you, there's your family, there's close friends, associates, and the outside world. The most important circle should be the individual. Because if I don't take care of myself and I don't have good energy and I have a good psychology within myself, how am I gonna help my family out? I help a close friend out.
Right.
So health is wealth. So you got to condition yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. You got to eat good food. We got to keep our bodies clean. We got to read books. You have to have respect. Eat good foods. You got to exercise every single day, and you got to do things that make you feel happy, excited, proud, and grateful.
Wow. I appreciate all the knowledge that you have. So I appreciate you sharing. If they was, where you located?
I'm in Nashua, but I got 5 locations. Nashua is the headquarters. Um, about 14 years ago, I bought a property in Milford, New Hampshire. I had a 5-year goal to build a karate school there, and I did that in 5 years when it was not a good time to build because we had a recession going on. None of the banks were lending money. Nobody was doing anything. I think that was like 10 years ago. Uh, but I had the 5-year goal. I built my school there, and now it's all about giving. I gave a lot. I gave a lot of love out. And because I gave all that love out, now I'm just, I can't say I'm semi-retired, but I built my whole business around me.
Yeah.
I love to teach. I'm good for another 20 years of teaching because I love it.
Right.
I love being here. Like
Right.
employees, two
Right.
I own outright. The other 3 are licensed through me. Um, but what I do is I help people. I help them to find a career, and I've made people into millionaires.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what is your address if they was like living around your area? What would they be able to find you? What is the
I'm in
address?
5 Eastern Boulevard, Nashua. You can, you know, but you know what I do? I help people out. I would never take anybody's karate students. They need to be loyal to their instructor. You know, you know what I do? I have third generations coming in. No matter where I go, because of my personality,
Right,
give me their phone numbers everywhere I go.
right,
No matter where I go,
right,
people come to me. You know why? They feel the energy. They feel the love. You have spiritual centrism. I can feel the spiritual centrism. There's four centrisms. There's egocentrism, and everything's about you. There's ethnocentrism, it's about you and your close friends. There's world centrism, which is good. It's about you, your close friends. You take your shirt off your back for anybody. You love people, you care about people. But spiritual centrism is the best centrism you can have. That's when it's about you, your family, close friends. You take your shirt off your back. You love everybody. You do anything. And when the good comes shining through you, people gravitate to you.
right.
And that's how you create leaders and stuff. So spiritual centrism is a key thing. You know what a lot of instructors don't have is spiritual centrism. A lot of them have ego and etho. Why? I don't know why. They need to have a better psychology within themselves. So it's about love, self-love, and I feel blessed. Why do I feel blessed? I role model people. You know, I listen. I knew I had a lot of dissatisfactions as a kid. When I was 13 years old, I made a big poster. I put two big rooms, two big floors. I got pictures out of magazines. I started teaching all the neighborhoods karate in East Boston at the Paris Street Gym. Then I started teaching with my instructor, for him. And then I just kept on. It was something I knew when I was 13 years old. So you have to know what you want, why you want. I have a lot of reasons. Reasons come first, answers come second. But that big poster I kept in front of me. And lots of times people trying to pull me away, because people in East Boston, they're great people, but some of them weren't. So whoever you hang with is who you become. So you have to focus on your future. And you got to keep score and you have to role model success.
Yeah. I remember back in the 80, I was hanging out a lot in the combat zone. And you probably remember this. It's like, the Golden Palace used to have like the movie theater, and then, the other side of Chinatown, there's like three movie theater that's, used to show Kung Fu movie. And then I don't know,
That
like,
did, right?
you,
We all did that.
yeah, and I don't know, there's an IK near 57 Park Plaza Hotel right across the street. Terry Bear, that's what we used to hang out all the time there.
Right.
So I remember like all the old day. That's why I start like continue my martial arts career.
Nice.
So, but I appreciate your time for sharing your knowledge and sharing your journey of a martial art and empower students to keep training. So I appreciate your time.
Well, I appreciate you have a loving spirit. Um, I've seen you many, many years ago. I think me and you connected about 4 years ago at Paul Savisi's tournament,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Connected, and you came up to me and you said, "Oh, I see you do a Bruce Lee demonstration." Yeah, back then I thought I was like Bruce Lee. I think we all did, you know?
Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool from an Asian guy going in. There's, this guy named Tokyo Joe.
Yeah,
Is
one more thing. Let's talk about Tokyo Joe because people don't know about my name, Tokyo Joe. Well, I played football, hockey, and I played track. I played hockey on a Panther team. Let me show you my patch because my patch is based on my life. So my uncle Shorty taught me how to box. There's the box. I played on a Panther team, a hockey team, and my football coach when I was 15 years old, one day at practice called me Tokyo Joe. This kid, Larry Hahn, was the number one running back. He was a senior. Everybody knew I was into karate. So at practice, he started throwing punches at me. So I hit him on a roundhouse kick right in the head. And the coach caught me. He called me Tokyo Joe. Then the whole team started banging the lockers, going, Tokyo Joe, Tokyo Joe. Pop, pop. Next thing you know, whole East Boston High started calling me Tokyo Joe. So I had a hockey team, and Doreen Codriano and Tony back then were married. They had a tournament in Revere in Beachmont. So I went there and I wore my hockey shirt and it said Tokyo Joe and I had the Panther back there. And then I remember I did so well over there. Everybody started calling me Tokyo Joe the Panther. So then I started a Panther team in Boston as a teacher on Calm Ave for Fred Bagley. It was Fred Valari School.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
1980, 79, 80, and 81. So I ran this dojo on Calm Ave. All the football players used to join my school, and I started my Panther team over there. It was a karate team, and my karate team was a great team. Back in the old days, my team would take on everybody. We win everybody. They all would be from my school.
Wow.
Now, other people pick and choose people, from different karate schools on their teams. So back in the old days, I don't know if you ever seen some of my guys. I had a guy named Armando. He was Brazilian. He'd jump up and spin hook kick basketball hoops. You know.
Wow.
Then I had this redheaded kid. We called him the Flapper. So I had a lot of good fighters. Dennis Malloy was on my team back then. He was my co-captain.
Yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah, the only tall guy and stocky. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I remember that.
So I'm very, very blessed. I thank God every day for leading me the right path, sending me to Nashville, New Hampshire. When I was 21 years old, I left all my friends. I moved up here, and I'm in God's country. I would never move back to Boston, but I love Boston.
Yeah,
All my friends are still there. And although you remember all those Tokyo Tuesdays I did
yeah,
that with friends in Boston and help martial artists out. It was about character building, about positive attitudes, about setting goals. That's the stuff I did before the pandemic came out. Once the pandemic came out, everybody started doing stuff, but
yeah.
I'm a step ahead of everybody.
Wow. I appreciate your story, and I appreciate your encouragement, and so
Listen, if there's anything I can do to help you, I'm there for you in a second. And
I appreciate that.
anybody wants to send me an email or a text, and they need help with something, I help out anybody and everybody.
I appreciate that.
Their own schools, and but I help black belts. So if a black belt came to me and they want to upgrade their training, or they need help with business, that's what I do. I help you with business, in a second. I help out anybody. I don't even charge you. I help you.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Well, I appreciate that. I'll definitely see you at the next tournament so we can hang out and talk. One of this day.
Oh, yeah. The Panthers are going to be running wild.
All right. Thank you for your time, sir. I appreciate you.
Master Ninja Nugent, thank you so much. Bless you.
Thank you, sir.
What's
God
up?
bless you.
What's
Oh,
up?
bye.
Bye.
Thank you.